The stories that define hip-hop culture. You're now locked in to the Terminator Xperience podcast, where hip-hop history meets the culture right now. Hosted by DJ DVS and Minor, alongside the legendary Terminator X. We're talking classic moments, untold stories, and the voices that shape the game. Straight from the source. No filters, no filler, just real conversations and real hip-hop. Turn it up. This is the Terminator Xperience podcast.
What's up? What's up? We're back for another episode of the Terminator Xperience podcast. Today we got to honor one of the hip hop founding legends from the almighty Cold Crush Brothers.
Yes.
We got the almighty KG in the place.
Yeah.
Man, I'm honored to have you on here. You are one of them. You got, man, come on. I grew up on you guys, man. And I got a lot of questions.
All right, bring them.
A lot of questions. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, Minor.
All right. First of all, man, thank you for being in the show. Man, you don't know how it makes me feel to be with a legend, man. Like, I want the people to know these are the ones. That's why we got whatever you want to call it, hip hop, rap, old school, whatever. These are the fellas right here.
Yes, sir.
I just want to start by asking, how did it all started for you?
All right, so I lived on 170th and Morris Avenue, and it was a party going on around the corner on 169th and Grant Avenue. I was in 4th grade. I wasn't supposed to leave the block, but my man LeBrew, he was like, yo, actually King LeBrew, he was down with Kool Herc too. And he was like, yo, they got a party going on around the block, a jam. I said, what the hell is a jam? So I snuck around the block. And so I got on the block and I saw people break dancing and doing flips in the air, Arabian Nights, and coming down on the ground and all that. And so I went by the turntables. You know, I'm this little nappy head kid. I'm in 4th grade. So I'm looking at everybody behind the turntable. So I see DJ Smokey on the turntables, Lovebug Starsky behind there too. But at the time, I didn't know who none of them was. I remember their faces. So after seeing that in 1972, I started breakdancing because I loved it like that, you know? And so I started breakdancing in 72. I started emceeing a little bit in like 74, something like that. And then I was still breakdancing all the way up to like 78. You see what I'm saying? But I was still rhyming too, because I was in different groups. And then, you know, I got down with the coke after the first, hip hop, rap convention in the PAL on Webster Avenue. So I didn't win, but I felt like I won because Charlie was there DJing with Flash, and he asked me to come to his house for an audition on Arthur Avenue. And so I came there and I auditioned, and I was the 4th member of the Cold Crush 4. Okay. So he already had AD, Cash, and JDL, rest in peace. And then I was the last piece.
So so how did y'all guys meet? Like, you know, I know like you said, but how did y'all became friends, and how did y'all agree to have each other as members of the group?
So, I mean, we became friends from practicing, you know, like I remember being like 16 and we practiced for like a whole year every day from like 12 to 12 in the morning.
So what do you think about like the past to compare of today?
Well, you know, we did hip hop to stop being in the streets and in the gang. And also we did it for political reasons too. Hey, people just do it for the money and the fame and for whatever else they do it for. But they don't do it for what the foundation was built on. You know, they don't do it for that.
Yeah, I recently had an interview. I spoke on that. We did it out of love. We were essentially just having a good time doing what we loved, and it turned into you know something else. So I was going to ask you. So what what was that like to be a pioneer? Like, especially after you guys did Wild Style. You traveled the world. I would imagine. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That must have been incredible. What was that like?
Well, it was real dope because I think I was about 17 or 16, and we was the first, group to go to Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto.
Mm,
And
wow.
when we went there, it felt like we was in a karate movie because everybody was dressed in their kimono. It was weird, right? Because we grew up on 42nd Street, karate flicks and stuff,
Yeah, that's right.
and to be there to see that. So every time we would go to a restaurant, somebody would take a cup of water and slam it on the table and say more water, and we would just fall out. Everybody would just fall out.
That's hilarious.
So it was pretty amazing because after that tour, it was over. Like hip hop was everywhere. Because most people think it was just the Sugar Hill record label and stuff, and they played a big role. But after that trip to Japan, the Wild Style tour, that's when it really took off. Hip hop was everywhere.
Yep, yep, yep.
So if you could give advice to the kids that are trying to get into the steps of hip hop today, because I know it's not like in the past, but the ones that are trying to become rappers and famous and do all this stuff that y'all been through and y'all did, like, what advice would you give these new generations?
Well, to be original and stay true to your art. Also, you're gonna get a lot of bumps down the road. People telling you ain't gonna be able to do this and you ain't gonna be able to do that. Don't listen to that. That's just a bunch of noise. And just focus on yourself and be true to the art form. Not just do it, respect it because it will take care of you if you respect it. So yeah,
Yes,
that would
sir.
be my word to the people today. That's doing what we did called jamming, and now it's called hip hop. To do it like that because you'll stay focused and you'll be respected years down the road.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, but like I be telling my grandkids and I tell a lot of kids the only difference too with hip hop, like back then, like when y'all was doing y'all thing, when y'all fought like in an MC battle, y'all DJ and y'all, now you can't even, basically people scared to go out because there's always a shootout, something is going on. Rappers disrespecting rappers and killing each other over stupidity. Like back then when y'all was doing it, y'all was battling each other and y'all was the best of friends at the end of the day.
Right. Well, you know what it was? That's what we did. Like we battled the Fantastic and they won. And the next day we was playing ball in the park. You know, it's a competition. It's like Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. Yeah, they on the court. Just it's business on the court.
Yeah.
But after that, what you doing later on? Let's go golfing. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it should be. But what happened was you had, cause see, we had gangsters, and then we had street dudes too in the world, right? But those dudes was doing what they do, and we was doing what we do. And somehow, whoever figured to do this, whether it's them or the people that control the industry, figured to, well, let's mix these guys and make them MCs. And let's get this beef going and all these different things going. And that's kind of what happened. So the so-called street dude became the MC. for some, it was fair game because the money was there. And that's kind of like what I see what happens a little bit too. So, if everybody would have stayed in their true lane, it would be a better art form.
Yeah, it's like it became a hustle, another
Yeah.
hustle. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause
Yeah.
when I think about, I never was a gangster, but I grew up with some and they didn't rap.
Yeah.
They didn't
Yeah.
rap. They didn't, when you hear the word rap with them, that's like a rap or somebody, saying rapping out, right? So they didn't rap. They had a business model and they stuck to their business model. And then somehow the street dude wanted to get into the MCing game and it all changed just like that.
Yeah, it became once money came into play, it became another hustle. I never thought
Another
about
hustle.
that. Yeah.
Another hustle. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Another
Unfortunately.
hustle, man.
Yeah.
So tell us one of your most memorable moments through the beginning to today that y'all was on tour, something real funny, that you will never forget with you and the gang, you and your crew.
Oh, man.
Give us the best one you'll never forget.
When we did the battle in Harlem World, and we came out in our pinstripe suits with the machine guns. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. Just visualizing that in my mind right now is just crazy.
You guys definitely came from the era. I had this conversation with Mr. Biggs from Soul Sonic. Back then, rappers were coming off, right behind the R&B groups, Cameo, folks like that, with Parliament, whoever, it performed without, so that kind of transcended went over to hip hop. And then,
Yeah.
I think Run DMC was the first group to kind of lax back with the outfits, you know what I mean? But,
Right.
yeah. I got a
Well,
call. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
here's the thing though, right? So we grew up in a time where we had rock stars
That's
and
right.
stuff like that. So we was imitating the big stars, right?
That's right.
But also there was times when we had on Adidas. I got pictures
Yeah,
of
of
Tony
course. Of
Cole
course. Yeah.
with the same hat on
Yep.
that Running and Wear,
Yeah.
the same Marknet, and the Adidas.
That's true.
But before they was even the MC.
That's true. That's true.
So sometimes in our parties we didn't always dress
Okay.
flashy, but when we got bigger,
Yeah.
we got flashier. You know.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: what did you think of? Did you see the Get Down?
Yeah, I saw.
I'm just curious what you thought about it. But being somebody that came from that, I mean, you lived that era. What do you think? What did you think about it?
I thought it was more of a letdown than a get down.
Wow. Okay.
It wasn't. I saw like MCs trying to be like us, MCs trying to be like the Fantastic, MCs trying to be like the Furious, and then I saw like a club that supposed to be in the Fever, and I just thought that it could have been done better. That's just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, come on, man.
It's
You know
hard.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It's hard.
You got Will Smith's son playing a tough guy in the Bronx. Are you kidding me? He would have got chewed up, spit out, and back in his mother womb. For real.
Yeah, that's
The Bronx
real.
wasn't no place to play with
That's
like
real.
that.
That's real.
I lived that.
That's real.
Like when I was in my certain area, I knew not to go out my area because I might not make it home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that movie, The Warriors, was a real thing.
Yeah.
People thought it was a movie. That was actually a documentary. If you went out of your area, it's a very good chance you wasn't going to make it home.
That's right.
And I tell a lot of people that too.
When I saw Will Smith's son playing this tough guy in the Bronx, I just scratched my head. You know, I didn't even watch no more after that, to be honest.
Yeah, they softened it up. I guess, for whatever, what do you want to call it, TV purposes or whatever. But
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
softened up. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Like I know, I know it was softened up, but I still enjoyed watching it.
Well, you know what it is? It's still a part of our history, right?
Yeah,
So we're gonna enjoy it, right?
yeah.
But when
When you're there, yeah.
it's different when you lived it,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Because you're like, that's
And
not how it happened.
whoa, man, whoa, you know,
Yeah,
I had to not go in certain areas because I
yeah,
knew I wasn't coming out of it.
yeah, yeah.
I played over dead bodies as my playground when I was little in abandoned buildings. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know that wasn't the way it was. That's the way it was.
Yeah, yeah.
You played and oh, what's this dude? He's dead. Okay, let's keep playing. Go about our business.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want to make it so gruesome.
I
But
remember.
Yeah,
I even and mine would get mad at me. We went to go see Michael Jackson's movie.
right.
And I was like, and he loved it, but I was like, man, I was mad because I lived through that era too, and I was mad. I was like, when they did the Jacksons, like the victory tour, they didn't do Can You Feel It? I'm like, how you gonna do the show the victory tour and not even do Can You Feel It? I mean, that was the hype. That was the biggest part of that concert. When they came out, they were the first one with that big video screen.
Yeah,
Dum, 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 dum.
yeah.
I'm like, how you not gonna? I understand what you're saying. If you live through it, you're like, man, this ain't right.
This ain't it,
This
man.
ain't it.
I
This ain't
mean,
it. Yeah,
the closest real movie to hip hop authentically is always going to be Wild Style
that's right.
because it
Yeah,
had the real
That's right.
people in it.
That's right.
It had Flash in his kitchen, the way his turntables was in his kitchen, and it was just the way it was. But not knocking, you know, Netflix and all of them jokers. But when it comes to like hip hop, I take it a little serious. You know, I'm a bigger critic than most people.
And you have every right to be.
yeah. So coming up, like when y'all used to do y'all little battles with each other, who was like the toughest crew that y'all battle always? That always gave y'all like that. Damn, we gotta step the game up for the next show.
You want to know?
Oh
Nobody.
no, but that's what y'all want to hear.
We was kicked off so many tours, man, because we was opening up for everybody that had hit records, right?
Yeah,
And then the people say, "Well, we want the cold press back. Who the hell are these people?" and so we got kicked off a lot of tours. I mean, like I said earlier, we practiced that year real hard, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really after the Fantastic battle. But we were already practicing a lot. But after that, we practiced like that. And so if you looked at us the wrong way, like Mike Tyson said, we wanted to eat your children. Because that's
Right?
just the way we was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we knew nobody could mess with us. We had multiple routines. We had different shows that we could just do on you easily. And to this day, we just did the Funk Master Flex thing in
Oh, I
Katona
seen that
Park.
on you on
Yeah.
Facebook the other day.
Yeah. And we still smashing them to this
That's
day.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
You know,
That's right.
still.
Doom, 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 doom.
You
Is
know,
Charlie Chase still with y'all too, right?
yeah, Charlie comes
Yeah.
in the show. Like,
Yeah, once-
Charlie doing his own thing. He lives
Yeah.
in Florida
Yeah.
now. He's been out there for like 20 years. So, whenever we got a show and, Charlie will come in, and get down with us and we have some fun. So, yeah, can't go without the Chase man.
Yeah, the last time it's funny because the last time I seen you, I was with Red and may he rest in peace. You and Yoda, and I took a picture of you, Yoda. Remember, may he rest in peace, Yoda.
Ah,
Yeah,
right,
and
right.
a couple of
Yeah.
other guys. I got the picture in the house. It was like everybody was there from the old school.
But you gotta send me that, man, because
Yeah.
Yoda was my dude. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
Yoda,
saying?
may he rest in peace. Yeah, Yoda was really
Yeah,
nice.
rest in peace, Yoda.
Sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
So if you could change something from the past, what would it be? Like,
And that's interesting, right? If I could change something in the past, as far as hip hop, I wouldn't change anything because if I would, like, like if I would have had a patent on hip hop, nobody would have been able to do it because I'd have been like, yo, you can't do it. I got a patent on it. Shut up. You can't do it. And it wouldn't have became the phenomenal thing it is. But like, as far as me personally, if I would have could change anything, I wish I was more educated on health and things like that because when we get older, we got all these conditions and stuff, and you know, it's just terrible. You know what I'm saying? So if I had one thing to change, it would be health knowledge.
I hear that.
You know, because they was poisoning us back then too, but they just was doing it in,
Yeah, they
you
still
know,
are.
it's giving us tiny little bit, you know, but now, you know, it's everywhere.
Yeah, now you get it all.
You get it all
Yeah,
today.
jeez.
And they ain't afraid to show you they doing it too, so
No Vaseline or nothing. You just get it all.
you just straight up.
Yeah, straight up.
So, you have any?
So that's what I would change, you know, if I had um, you know, a choice. I think that's knowledge of health because you know, they don't teach us about our bodies and stuff. They just teach us to be workers.
That's right. That's right.
Y'all still doing a lot of shows?
Yeah, we do shows every now and then, you know. I mean, you know, for me, for the last 30 years, even some of the guys in my group don't know this, but for the last 30 years, I've just been, you know, writing TV series and cartoon series.
Okay, what's up?
So I got a lot of stuff coming out soon. You know, when people see me going up and getting an Oscar or Emmy award, they're gonna be like, "Yo, what KG doing?"
Wow, that's incredible. Man.
Congratulations
I got
on
some
that.
dope stuff, man. I got some dope
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
stuff.
congratulations
Good stuff.
on that.
Good
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
Good
Yes, sir.
stuff.
Yes, sir.
So you have any crazy stories, whether it be in New York or on tour? I mean, what's the craziest thing that ever happened?
Um, one time we was in, I think it was in Osaka, and me and Fat Freddy had these two Japanese girls in our room, and the Rocksteady crew came like 4 days before us. And they had some girls in their room and they were like prostitutes or whatever. And so they knocked on our door because they heard us laughing with these two girls, but they were just regular girls, but they got scared and went in the bathroom. And these guys chased us all over the hotel, man. It was a crazy run. Me and Fat Pop Freddy, man. It was funny. It was now that, you know, we look back on it, we laugh at it now, but you know, it was kind of scary a little bit, but you know, well, for me, it was like, I'm from the Bronx, so I'm used to wild stuff happening, especially when I was young like that, you know?
Yeah.
But that was like one of the weirdest things that happened that I can remember, like being on the road. Yeah, that was, that was crazy.
Fab Five, and that dude, he's starting to show his age a little bit now. But for years, I was like, man, is this dude a vampire? Because he's like, if you go
You
back
never
and look
get
at him in the beginning, so like just like I feel like a few years ago, he started showing his age. But I was like, man, this dude he ain't never changed. I used to play around, say, you know, you look like is this dude a vampire or what?
So,
yeah, he's been around forever. Yeah. Oh my
so as today, who you consider your top 5?
Wow.
So
You
hard.
know the craziest thing about it? I don't really listen to like modern music too much,
Yeah.
man. I'm like,
But
when I get in the car, you know what I tell my wife, she knows me so well. 'Cause we've been married like 26 years, been together 30 years, right?
Congratulations.
But when I get in the car, it's Light FM. That's what I always listen to, even when I was with the Cold Crush in the beginning.
wow.
Light FM. Yeah. You know, CBX, you know, then now Light FM. But if I had to think of like artists I
for
like
you,
today,
forget the
I
new
like
folks. For you,
I like Ludacris.
okay, yep.
You know, I like Exhibit, you know. And these are just because these might be old to most people, but they new to me. Um,
All time favorites.
yeah. I mean, like the um like the 90s and late 80s MCs. Those are my favorite ones. You know, like the new guys, I don't know what they're doing. It's like it's rap and it's like singing too. I mean, well, I know about singing rap because that's what me and Cold Crush do, but it's a little different. It's like
Yeah.
the cadence is different.
Yeah.
So I mean, like sometimes I can hear something and I can go like I like T-Pain, you know, stuff, you know, and but sometimes, you know, if I hear something and I don't know, I'm just too critical, man. I'm like Michael Jordan. That's why he don't go to the panels and be up there with Charles Barkley because he's too critical. He's the GOAT. So he won't do them. Now that he got some kind of thing on, but you see, it's just him and the interviewer. He ain't on no real live stuff, you know.
So what
So,
you think
but
about the girls today taking over? Cause the girls is strong out here right now. They
yeah,
stronger
yeah,
than the dudes. Yeah.
Cardi B, and yeah, yeah, you know, I think you know the girls is doing really well. The girls is doing really well with hip hop. I mean, they're selling out arenas. They doing good,
They
you
doing
know.
better than the dudes.
Yeah. Well, cause see, back in the days, we had females. We had Mercedes ladies. You know, you had Pebbly Pooh. You had Sha Rock. You know, so females, you know, always, you know, Sparky D,
May she
Rest her
rest in
soul.
peace, yes.
Yeah, you know, so we always had like female MCs, and I'm happy that the females are getting their due. I'm happy about
Agreed.
that.
Yeah, because they come from way back too. A lot of people didn't notice that, but they pioneer this stuff too.
That's
Yes,
right.
they did.
You know,
Yes,
a
they
lot of
did.
people
They were
sleep on them
there.
girls. They were there, man. They were
They
there.
were there. From breakdancing, graffiti, all of it. They was always around.
So this is kind of a question everybody likes to ask, but did you when you guys started out, did you ever think that rap, hip hop, whatever you want to call it, would become what it has become?
Yeah. You know, I always thought like, you know, if we could put it on records,
Mm.
what would it be?
So you
You know?
envisioned that? Okay,
Yeah, way back, way back. Let me tell
okay.
you. So one time I went to CBS. I think this is 77, something like that. This is before I got down with the Cold Crush. And I was trying to talk to the executives there. And I don't know how they accepted my meeting, but they did. So I go in there and I'm talking to them. Now I'm young. I'm real young.
Hmm.
I don't know nothing, but I think I know something. And I'm telling them about this hip hop stuff. And I never forget, it was an Italian guy, a Jewish guy, and an Irish guy. I don't remember their name. And I was telling them we got this thing called, you know, jamming, you know, and, you know, we rap and we dance and we do all these things. And then they laughed me out the room, told me come back when I got rock or disco.
Wow, that's
And,
crazy.
you know, they said it was just a fad. It's not going to stick around long. And here we are 50 years later,
That's
right?
right.
50 years, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you
I'm
saw
quite sure.
so you
I'm
saw the
quite
vision.
sure. Yeah, I saw the vision. I'm quite sure they're not around no more, but I'm quite sure at one point in their lives, they probably said, hey,
Kicking themselves in the butt.
we should have listened to that movie.
Yeah,
We should have listened to that movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
So, you know, but, yeah, I had the vision for a lot of different things, you know, like even in 94, 95, I had a project, called The Voices of Hip Hop, where I was interviewing people. And I only had like, I interviewed Big Daddy Kane, Dougie Fresh, Kool Herc, and Grandmaster Caz, right? So now me and Leo, we go way back. You know, when we used to hang out with him in Columbia University, you know, and JDL took him to the FIBA, and that's how he met Russell. A lot of people don't know that story, right? But here's the thing. So when I created this um interview thing, I said, let me take it to Leo because he was running Def Jam. He loved it, but He said, let me hold it for a while. And I came back in about 2 weeks. He said, it's dope, but I don't know what to do with it. Because CDs was just the new thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
he didn't think that people would pay to hear interviews. So that being said, I'm the creator of podcasts.
There you go.
I never called it podcast.
There
I
you
called
go.
it the Voices of Hip Hop.
There you go.
But a lot of people don't know that, but now they know.
So you're clearly a visionary.
That's
Yeah,
another one
yeah,
that probably sat there and said, I should have listened to this brother.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was always at the cutting edge of everything. Even when, like, I remember one time I went home, I had to sleep, and I had a dream that we was in Madison Square Garden and the whole crowd was white. And we was doing this record called Punk Rock Rap. So I came back to the practice and I said, yo, Kaz, yo, JDL, AD, we gotta do this record called Punk Rock Rap.
Wow. Oh wow. Okay. I didn't
And
know
they
he was
looked
going
at me
there.
like,
Okay.
what? You know, cause in my group, I'm the tune creator, right? So, um, you know, Cass and them said, well, we did other MCs and, you know, and all these different other stuff that he came up with. So let's go with it. So we put out Punk Rock Rap. Frankie Crocker played it for like a couple of weeks on the radio rotation. And it was just too ahead of his time. This is like almost 3-4 years before Run DMC.
So
Yep.
another visionary.
Yeah, another visionary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so he was ahead of the game.
Always.
You were seeing a vision before the vision even was there.
yeah. You know, always, man. So, yep. So that's another piece of history that most people don't know. You know what I mean?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, I wanna ask you too, like, you know, maybe some of the kids out here of today will listen. Cause I know a lot of us, you know, back in our time, a lot of us wasn't finishing high school or even finishing junior high school, you know? So like, what advice would you tell kids today about quitting school and finishing their education?
Well, you know, that's very important, you know, in a society that we live in, you know, to get a good education because that's how you're going to make some money, you know. And you don't need stuff to fall back on. You need stuff to fall forward on. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to help you in that way. And then, you know, follow your dreams. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, your dream might not be my dream, you know. I mean, I've heard so many cats that, you know, their parents was like, and including mine, you know, what are you doing with this rap stuff? You know? And I used to tell them it's going to be big one day, you know, and all this other stuff, you know. So I would say, you know, stay in school, you know, get that education that you're going to get. And if you have other plans, you know, um, opening up a business or, you know, whatever like that, go with that too, you know. But take it all. Don't throw nothing away because it's all valuable in some way, you know, whether it's school or you want to do your own company, your own Amazon, you know, your own Microsoft, you know, your own car company, you know, think big
That's
and
right.
think outside the box, you know. I mean, you know, open up a cell phone company, you know, these things are all available to you know, and, you know, don't let fear stop you. Because once you let fear stop you, then it's kind of like the game is over, you know. Everybody's like, you know, everybody's not going to be chanting in your corner, but just remember when you go into a room and nobody chanting for you, you're in the wrong room. Get out of that room.
Amen to that.
Yep. Amen to that.
Yeah, man. Cause
You
I
know?
see nowadays, man, these kids, man, they don't want to finish high school, and
Yeah.
everybody wants to become a rapper. It's like you just said, everybody
Yeah.
doesn't make it.
Everybody
You know, at
don't
least if
make
you
it.
don't make it, you like you say, they could try, but at least you always got that diploma, that education
That's
that'll
right.
lead you into somewhere else.
That's
So,
right.
so,
That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
so what
So
I've
you always gotta have an ace in your pocket. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Um, I grew up at a time where, you know, we didn't have, we had a lot of common sense, but we didn't have technology like we have today. You know, I mean, come on, you're walking around with the $1 trillion device in your pocket every day. You can be anything on this damn phone. And now with AI and everything else, come on, please.
yeah,
This is like one of the best times to be alive for technology. I
absolutely.
mean, when we grew up, we used to in studios, right? With these big Neve boards and all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah,
Man, nobody's using that. People are making hits off their cell phones.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I tell my grandkids, I remember when I was down 10 in the house. You remember when the damn antenna used to go beep, beep, beep? And you be back
Right,
then, your mother like, right there, tune it right there, and the damn lines be going.
right.
You know, the only technology you had in your house was a typewriter. If that.
Exactly.
That was like the biggest thing you
Exactly.
had in your house as a
Yeah.
technology.
Cause even, you want to hear something? Even in the early 90s, right? Like, I would say like 94, 95, I had a Dell computer. And people used to come over my house and say, "Yo, what you want? What you doing with that?" I said, "This is a computer. You don't got a computer? I don't need no computer." I said, "You don't have AOL? You got mail? You don't have that?" No, I don't need no damn computer. I'm good. I got Blockbuster. I got a VHS tape.
Yeah.
And it's funny,
I
now the
said,
computers
okay.
what makes all the music now.
Yeah, yeah. I said, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Now you go in anybody's house. If they don't have a computer, a little weird. Look at them.
Are y'all working on any new music?
Um, as of now, no, I don't. We're not working on any new music. Um, but we are open for business. If somebody's doing something, the cold press will be there and lay it down and tighten it up. You know what I mean? But for me, I'm just really focusing on my my TV shows, feature films, Broadway plays, and animation cartoons.
Yeah. How could the audience find out more information on you? Like you have a website or something? Or email?
No website, but yeah, if somebody wanted to contact me, it's Almighty Entertainment at gmail.com. Almighty spelled with two L's, all lowercase. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really do the website stuff. I mean,
Not
I
not the
don't
not
really
the
do
first guy in the
websites.
neighborhood with the computer that doesn't do the website
Nah,
stuff.
I used to. You know what I'm saying? Like websites, apps are like more important than websites. But I do have a wave card with all my information and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
my
yeah.
doohickeys and stuff. But I don't really do websites really that much.
You ever noticed
It's
that
kind of like why?
social media has kind of left websites behind a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was almost primitive,
yeah,
because who, if you want to contact somebody, you got Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
right. Somebody told me
That, yeah.
somebody told me MySpace was coming back. I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I remember when
Man,
it was the beeper. Remember the beeper? You get like
yeah, the
three
people.
beeps and they had no number on it. You already knew like one was your mother, the one with two beeps was like your grandmother,
I ain't
and
never
the
had
third beep was like your friend or whatever.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
man. I mean, times has changed, man. I
Yeah.
mean, like the future. I don't know. We don't even know what it's going to be, but it's going to be kind of interesting because, um, for those of us that's like geeks, like I'm a geek and I'm proud of that because I was always messing with stuff like like in my house right now. I have infrared saunas. I have hydrogen machines. I have Royal Rife machines. Look, here's the one right here. Look, let me see if I can pull it out for you and show you.
That's a what now?
This is a Royal Rife machine.
Who?
A Royal
Right.
Rife.
Royal Rife
Yep,
machine.
Okay.
yep. So what this does, this machine right here heals your body from like anything. They've been hiding it from us, but I wind up finding it.
Okay,
That's
that's what's
crazy.
up.
Yeah. You see this right here? This is called a remote. So like, let me tell you a little story. So my daughter went to England to to study for 5 months, and she called me. She was sick. So before she left, I made her give me her fingernails. So I put it in the remote and ran the program on her. Within milliseconds, she felt better.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Because see, you know, Einstein says spooky because it's scalar. So, like, we're talking on scalar right now, but most people don't know it's scalar. That's how you're able to see me and I'm able to see you. You are wherever you at, and I'm all the way in New York. And we're able to see each other in milliseconds. Well, when you put the fingernail in the remote, it connects with your DNA. And no one has the same DNA as you.
That's right.
And so if the frequencies go where you at, no matter if you on Mars. Yeah, it's spooky shit. It's spooky, man. It's spooky, you know. But that's the way it works. You know, I like my wife be at work. She got a headache. I run the program. 25 minutes later, she ain't got no more headache.
Okay, that's deep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, gout, because I used to have gout. You know, gout was always like my problem. But I put this on the gout because see, with this, you get over 50,000 programs. All you do is put whatever your problem is and run the program.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's deep.
yeah.
That's
So I
crazy.
got all these gadgets and stuff in my house and stuff like that, you know, that heals my body and, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Because most people don't know, 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with congested heart failure, and I was able to fix up most of that with these products.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So wait.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to make you their spokesperson, but let everybody know where they can find this stuff because there's maybe
Oh,
somebody that wants this stuff.
you can go to spooky2.com, and you know they got all the generators, and it's real affordable. Like that generator I just showed you is like $100.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
I might
It's
look
very
into it
affordable.
myself. With my
Yeah, it's
heart.
very affordable. Very affordable.
Yeah.
And you can run it on your dogs. Um, I mean, you got kidney issues, diabetes. You know, they got like 50,000 programs. And the software, once you get the machine, the software is free.
We
You
gotta
don't even
try
pay
that
for the
then, baby.
software. You just download it on your computer and run your programs.
Yeah, you're gonna need it with health insurance the way it is.
Yes.
Health insurance
Yeah,
prices skyrocketing.
absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what I also use it for, guys? I make my own colloidal silver with it too. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, these are the things that, you know, like I wish I would have knew when I was younger. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
But those machines were being hidden from us. They were like, oh, we can't get them this. We're going to give them the hospital and religion and tell them good luck. Good luck.
Let me ask you one more thing. Where do you see? I mean, I know we probably won't be around it to see it. Where do you see hip hop or rap music, whatever people want to call it today, in the next 50 years?
Well, you know, it's going to elevate and new styles are going to come out. And I think it's going to still be around. I think it's going to still be around. I think people are going to find new ways, just like we found new ways. They're going to find new ways. And you know,
They might bring
I
back
think
the
it'll
old
still be
way.
around.
Yeah, I think they might bring back the old way too.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
Because
sometimes you go so far left
then you got to go back
that
to the beginning.
you got to go back. You got to go back to the essence, you know? more breakdancing, graffiti, um, you know, more culture, more culture.
Yeah.
And it's gonna go back to that
Yeah,
because once you go so far, you got to come back to the essence.
yeah, because the kids 50 years from now, when they born, they ain't gonna know nothing about our past. So somebody's gonna recreate that past and
Yeah,
bring it back. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Where somebody might be you in 50 years, duplicating your whole group, singing your songs,
yeah,
teaching a new
yeah.
audience like these guys did that. We duplicating them. It's like the old groups, like Temptation. When one dies, they replace them. Everybody gets replaced, and the group
Right.
keeps going.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it'll still be around uh in the last couple of years it has lost a little bit of steam, but it's still strong. It's real strong, because the the youth wants it. The youth wants it. And anytime the youth wants it, it's gonna be strong. What I do hope that it can go back to real artistry. Like, take out all the bad words and just, rhyme about, like self-destruction and all that kind of stuff. And what y'all did, Public Enemy and everything. Get back to like things that really matter, you know, because they you can still dance to those things and have a good time. You don't have to say the other things to make a hit record, but we all know is whoever's pushing that button and pushing them in that direction, that's the way it go. But you're always gonna have some people that's gonna be rebels. And
That's
and
right.
and I think that's probably gonna come back because look at the world we live in right now. It's like chaos. It really is. A lot of chaos going on. So I think that's gonna change the fabric of what people rap about and what hip hop is about. It's gonna be two sides. There's gonna be that side that we're doing it this way, and then it's gonna be the side that say, you know what? I want to educate, my young people, you know, and I think they're still going to be around in 50 years. It's just going to be different, a little different.
But you know what I noticed, man. Like when I was coming up as a kid, you know, I know we all about the same age. Like when I remember looking at you guys, and you know, like I didn't see what I see today. Like now, like if somebody does a video, they putting a big mansion, they put a whole $3-4 million worth of jewelry, all this, islands, they own islands and all that. Like when y'all was doing it, and then I heard like I was in somebody's house, we was looking at a video, and the kid got up, he said, "Oh, when I grow up, that's what I want to have." Like, and I'm saying to myself, damn, but like look at the mentality they already putting in the youth. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I told him, yo, that's not real, man. You know what I'm saying? And I showed him like an old video of back in the days when y'all was rapping, how the rap group. I'm like, look at this video, it was natural. Like you didn't see none of that fake stuff.
no,
Like now,
yeah,
to me, man, it's like too much fake, man. Dudes supposedly on a $300 million airplane, and like,
and you
cause
know what?
that's
It,
why
it
kids go
became
out
a
here and stake up people, cause they think that they could do these things. Like that's why they promote him.
yeah, yeah. It became a fashion show
Yeah.
and a street show. It was always a street show, but it's like bad street shows now. And like I said, I think the youth are starting to wake up and they're starting to realize that, this is not a good path to take. And once they wake up to that, and realize that they're important and your words have power. And once they understand those things and put those two things together, which they're doing right now, um, the record label is gonna have to change. And because you're always gonna have the ones that still, you know, gonna get whatever they want to get, but long as we can um even it out. And what the youth is gonna do, they're gonna even it out. There's going to be some that speak this, and there's going to be some that speak this. And you're going to have a choice of what to buy. For the last almost 25 years, you don't have a choice. It was just dope beats and ill lyrics. And when I say ill, not dope lyrics, I mean they were ill, like cancer lyrics. So when these two groups clash, and it's inevitable that it's going to happen because people want change, and they want something that they can believe in.
Yeah, I was going to speak on earlier when we was talking about the kids. I think this has been a generation of instant gratification and no, they want to be. I talk to kids like, I want to be an entrepreneur. Well, what? Yeah, but what is your business? Well, I don't know. How you gonna be an entrepreneur? You don't have a
You don't
business.
even have a
You don't know
dream.
what you want to do. So, I think especially what's going on, like you say, and especially in politics in the world today, I think it's going to become, they say, necessity is the mother of invention, or whatever the expression is. I think they're going to be forced. They're going to be forced to study, to whatever they're interested in, to research it, develop it, and take it seriously. Like, versus being, I want to be successful overnight. Well, that's especially now. That's not going to happen.
Not,
It's not going to
no,
happen.
no. I mean, you gotta, whatever you do in life, if you want it to last and mature properly, it's gonna take time. When we started in '79, hip hop really didn't take off to about a good 6 years after that. And before that, it was like 72, 73, and nothing just was just happening in the Bronx, really.
That's
You
right.
know, I mean, you have different places in certain areas of Queens and Brooklyn, and everybody had their own little thing. But what we was doing in the Bronx was very special. It was different. Even though it was quite the same, but it was different. You know, um, just like the other day I was with Hollywood, and my brother had a tape of Hollywood when I was in fifth grade, and I was like, who the hell is this? I'm Hollywood. I'm sweeter than sugar. Yep, 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 yep. I was like, what the hell? What's this? Who this? And my brother, oh, that DJ Hollywood, boy. I was like,
And
okay,
now
all
you're
right,
hanging
I
out with
know
Hollywood.
Hollywood. Yeah, I know the wood.
I love Hollywood.
So,
Cool dude.
so there's all different styles and stuff, and I think that, um, it's gonna change, and
Absolutely.
hopefully it changes to the best way. You
Yes,
know what I'm
sir.
saying? Because we look at the kids today. See, we was the kids yesterday, right? And we had our moments, but it wasn't so bad, even though it could have been, but it wasn't. And we look at the youth today; they are so different.
They're way different. They don't even like we walk. You remember when we was coming up, like our parents, like once in a while they'll give us $100 to shop. You get a pair of Adidas,
Not my parents.
you get a La Tigre shirt, you get a Kangol hat. Remember those days when $100 you get like 4 or 5 items, and still
Yeah,
had
not
enough
today.
money to go to the
I
movie
don't
theater.
remember them days.
Now you get like but I'm saying, what was a pair of Puma? And I mean, it was expensive, back then. Like you go get a pair of Pumas, what, $30? When I
Yeah,
was coming up, a La Tigre shirt $10, a pair of shorts $12. The lead pants was like 14. But it was expensive. It was like equivalent of today's money. But like you go now, a pair of damn Jordans $200-300
yeah, yeah. And you
compared
know
to
what? I'm so glad my kids don't. They not into none of those type of things. But I remember back in the days when I used to go to Jew Man to get my clothes right in the Bronx. So Jew Man, he had all the nicest stuff. So we would take a OJ to Jew Man because we heard about what happens if you don't take a OJ. So most people used to go to Jew Man and get their clothes, and by the time they walk home, the gangs would beat them up, take their clothes, and bring it back to Jew Man, and he would give them money for it to put
Yeah.
it back on the shelf.
Wow.
So we got smart. We said, all right, we're going to take an OJ. We're going to put him on hold, go get our clothes, get back in the car, and go home. But, everything is changing, Everything is so expensive now. It's tough. That's why I said, like the MCs today, they're going to change the world. They are going to change the world. And some of them, you know, they're going to stay with the traditional stuff that gets them the gold chain and nice cars and big houses. And then the other one's going to say, boof that. I want to make a better world. And that's going to be nice. I mean, like, I haven't listened to too much of J. Cole, but I hear a lot of people say what they say about him. It's pretty good. So, I mean, there's going to be some good MCs right down the road. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking forward to seeing whatever I can see in this life that I'm given to see how that's going to look and what it's going to look like, because I know it's coming. I just don't know when, that change is going to really, really happen. But I think the kids are looking around and they're going, what do we got to lose?
I remember me being a kid. Shit, you had to wear whatever your mother brought home. Like, that's what you wore. That was it. You couldn't say, oh, I want the... You either get the Pro Cats or the 69ers, or you don't get nothing at all.
Hey, I used to get the sneakers out of the big basket that was zip tied together in the supermarket.
You know what I'm saying? So, you got what
I grew up poor, man, and let me tell you, I had 8. My mother had 8 kids. So it was days I had to put cardboard in my sneakers because I had holes, because I was breakdancing, tearing them up, right?
Yeah.
And it was tough, because like $8 and $10 sneakers was, your mother would be like, yo, you ain't getting no $10 from me.
The Chinese slippers. Remember everybody was wearing the Chinese slippers at one time?
Yeah, the Chinese joints.
Yeah, $3. Go to Chinatown, $3. Bruce Lee joint.
Bruce Lee came in the neighborhood and lit us up.
$3. I used to have a pair all the time. They don't pay. I had them in 2 colors, white and black.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Those were the joys, and we wasn't thinking about cushion and
the pro players.
There was no cushion in those.
No cushion.
He was almost walking on the ground.
Flat.
Yeah. Yes, sir, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Those were the good old days, man.
But we're going to wrap this up. We don't want to keep you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you so much, brother. Salute to you, brother.
Yes, sir. Respect.
Salute. Oh, man.
And thank you for bringing us to where we at today with the rap music game.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your service.
Anytime, man. I mean, y'all got all the questions you wanted to ask, because I'll tell you like this. I was there from the 72. You know what I'm saying? So I saw all the people that was doing it, and then when I became dominant, I kind of knew all of them already, because I remember seeing certain people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Thank you. And thank you to Big Jeff too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Big Jeff. Yes.
Shout out to Big Jeff.
And if anytime you guys want to do another one, man, just holler, man.
Yes, sir. We got you on the next one. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Respect.
Peace and love, brother.
All right.
Peace. All right.
That's going to do it for this episode of the Terminator Xperience podcast, hosted by DJ DVS, Minor, and the legendary Terminator X. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and leave a review, and tap in with us on social media for clips, updates, and behind the scenes. Until next time, keep the culture first, keep the sound heavy, and keep it locked right here.